Just want to give you a general briefing on the employment market and things that I'm seeing with senior executives who are changing roles and trying to source new opportunities in the market. I think Australia is just on the verge of declaring that we are into a recession. New Zealand made the declaration a little while ago, and of course, all the economic signs are there. There was a very interesting presentation and a number of talks by Matt Barry, a very high profile, successful business entrepreneur, and he is warning of economic Armageddon, if you like. There are a lot of fundamentals that are very, very wrong with our economy, and we are headed into a perfect storm. From my perspective, and I'm dealing with a lot of C-suite business executives who are trying to execute a job change, a career change, and are trying to go to market, the feedback has been absolutely resolute. Almost every executive search firm that we are getting feedback from is telling us that there are very few CEO type briefs on the desk. There are very few chief marketing officers on the desks. Very few, very, very significant C-suite roles available. Now, that's because the market is very low in the confidence, and so people are holding on to their jobs and they're not moving successfully, and there's no jobs to move to. So you're getting this kind of scenario where there's really not the briefs available in the market. Now, many of these headhunters are predicting or hoping, I think hoping might be the key word here, hoping that the market is going to pick up in the second half of the year. But I have some concerns about that because the economy is really, really starting to grind to a halt. There was that very interesting report on David Jones. They had double-digit decline in sales. The retailers feel it first. They're the canary in the coal mine, unfortunately. So as soon as they see that people aren't, walking out the doors with shopping bags, that's a real sign. And I'm hearing it from every aspect, across our business. People are not prepared to spend. The spending has really come off. I've got a brother who works in the luxury car industry. People have put their hands back into their pockets. It's not a buoyant time. And so there's a lot of these rate rises have kicked in. And so from an executive standpoint, we are definitely seeing that executive market dry up. It's very quiet, not a lot of career moves happening at that really senior level unless there is a real imperative to go to market to find new talent. So the market has definitely contracted where that's concerned. I think as an executive, you should be using this time to get the fundamentals right. You should be doing your career plans. You should be doing your refreshment of your resumes, cover letters. I think we are on the verge of things going from bad to worse. And I believe that the next thing we're going to start to see is very, very significant redundancies, very significant companies going to the wall, lots of mid to senior management executives being released into the market. And it has a cumulative effect. I mean, just yesterday, the ABC announced 140 odd jobs were going. These were mid-management to senior management executives who were being released. Now, every company has their reasons for releasing executives, but it does have a cumulative effect, especially in places like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. You really start to feel it when companies start to release more and more executives into the market. So it's going to be a very, very challenging time. And so executives should be packing their parachutes. They should be planning. They should be not assuming they're going to be okay. You could end up on a redundancy list very unexpectedly. Now, if you combine that with you've got some mortgage pressure and you're struggling with the rate rises and so on, you might look back and say, well, I wish we'd made that decision sooner. Try and release yourself from any sort of debt that you can. You want to try and get your household in order as we head into these very, very volatile times. So, unfortunately, it's not a really positive briefing. I've got to be honest with you. I'm quite concerned about what I'm hearing. I've got a lot of executives on my books, and I would have the highest number at the moment of C-suite executives who are just in a holding pattern. The roles aren't there. And if they are in recruitment processes, they're going through recruitment processes, and then the inevitable happens. The role gets pulled at the last minute. The company wants to recalibrate and find a more junior candidate. There's a lot of this stop-start hiring. Many companies on hiring freeze. You'd be surprised how many have already sort of pulled down the hatches. So, companies are watching their bottom lines very carefully. So a challenging few months ahead. Very important that you stay across what's going on. Don't be head in the sand. Keep your eyes and ears open in your own company, and be prepared to pivot if you have to. You've got to be a very nimble business executive in this new paradigm that we're operating in.